The southern part of Kyushu Island has a very special character and a very special history. In ancient times, two cultures were blended here. The culture of islands and races to the south and the culture of the Asian mainland. And the result of this blending can still be seen today by visitors to this unique corner of the Japanese archipelago. At one time, southern Kyushu was remote and isolated. It took many hours, even days, to reach here from central Japan. Now, the Shinkansen Super Express covers the whole of the 1,069 kilometers between Tokyo and Kyushu. By air, it takes only 2 hours from Tokyo or 1 hour from Osaka. And there are direct international flights as well. The region itself has a network of highways and public transport facilities that make travel a pleasure. Not to mention a climate that offers sun and warm temperatures throughout the year. This small island, Aoshima, is known for its abundance of tropical and subtropical plants, and it is just off the Nichinan coast in Miyazaki Prefecture, one of the most famous stretches of coastline in Japan. Strange rock formations, cliffs, and caves extend along the shore, and exotic plants grow everywhere. A little further south is Cape Toy. This is the only place in Japan where wild native horses can be seen in their natural habitat. Some 60 horses are allowed to roam freely on the cliff-top pasture. The island of Kojima is the home of native Japanese monkeys. Not only are these monkeys very fond of potatoes, they're also apparently very clean, since they wash the potatoes in the sea before eating them. Or perhaps the salt in the water adds a little seasoning. In all events, the monkeys always put on a good show for visitors. Since anyone can remember, the local people have made clay toys modeled on the Kojima monkeys and painted them in bright, sunny colors. The dramatic landscape of southern Kyushu reminds us that this is a land of volcanoes. And the greatest of all Kyushu's volcanoes is Mount Aso. Its crater, covering 255 square kilometers, is the largest in the world, and smoke pours from it constantly. Around the crater, the ground literally melts and bubbles in the heat. Volcanoes have given Kyushu the nickname Land of Fire. But they have also given visitors to the region the chance to revel in the medicinal waters of numerous hot springs. On the southern side of Mount Aso is the beautiful Takachiho Gorge. The people that live in this vicinity preserve many ancient myths and legends. And one of these is that this was the very cradle of the Japanese race. In villages around the Takachiho Gorge, the local people perform a religious dance called Iwato Kagura. They dance in the night, retelling the story of how the gods descended from heaven to this spot and began their work of creating the Japanese nation. The rugged interior of Kyushu made life hard in ancient days. But on the coastline, life has always been easier. Fish are abundant here, and a bountiful catch that can be sold in markets all over Japan presents a colorful sight in the early morning. This scene has changed little over many centuries. Despite its remoteness, Kyushu was always a powerful region, being the home of several great feudal clans. One of these clans had its stronghold in the city of Kumamoto, and it left behind a great castle, one of the three most famous castles in Japan. On festival days, the history of Kumamoto comes alive, and samurai rule the streets just as they did 300 years ago. The volcano of Sakurajima brings us to another of Kyushu's great old cities, Kagoshima. Kagoshima was also the stronghold of a powerful clan, and the past is still very much in evidence, in graceful parks once the homes of samurai of the Shimazu clan. And in museums that recall the history of Southern Kyushu and its contacts with Western thought and culture. Kagoshima is old, yet it is also a modern and comfortable city. artistic skills of the Kyushu people are the source of many delightful souvenirs. Bamboo ware, metalwork, using the same skills that once decorated samurai swords and armor. And ceramics. Satsuma ware, made in this region, has been known and admired in the West for over 100 years. The food of the region is also rather special. Fish, of course, but also meat dishes with the flavor of islands further south, and several kinds of pickled vegetables. Kyushu has something for all tastes, including the chance to do absolutely nothing in the nicest possible way. At Ibuski, the natural steam in the volcanic sand provides a luxurious sand bath. There's just nothing else to do but listen to the sound of the sea and watch the ships go by. The land of fire. It's also the land of nostalgic festivals and dramatically beautiful landscapes, of exotic birds, antelope, boar, and deer, monkeys, and wild horses, of old castles, dramatic coastlines, and living volcanoes. Even for the Japanese, Southern Kyushu is something rather special.